Italian pizza owners rant at Taiwanese tourists sparks backlash. 8 urges peaceful approach to cross-strait differences. Taiwan weighs entrance fees for high mountain parks. The U.S. will help South Korea build nuclear attack submarines. Thousands protest against government in Mexico. Boeing ordered to pay over $28 million to 737 MAX crash victims' family. Kim Kardashian's shapewear brand Skims hits $5 billion valuation. U.S. Mint presses final pennies.
Hello, I'm Helen. Thank you for joining us on FUNDAY News. It is Monday, November 17th, International Students' Day, and here are your top stories. In local news, an Italian pizza shop owner sparked outrage after posting a video insulting 16 Taiwanese tourists for ordering only 5 pizzas. Italian media reported the backlash spread online. The mayor of Montecatini Terme said the incident doesn't represent the city and the owner has apologized. He will meet Taiwan's representative next week. The American Institute in Taiwan shared a photo from its recent meeting with KMT chairwoman Zheng Liwen, saying discussions focused on cross-strait peace and stability. AIT Director Raymond Green stressed resolving differences peacefully and warned against unilateral actions. Both sides agreed dialogue is essential. Taiwan's high mountain national parks, Yushan, Xueba, and Tailuge drew over 160,000 climbers last year. Officials are considering entrance fees to fund conservation and trail maintenance. Prices at popular lodges like Paiyun may rise. The recent closure of Tailuge after the Liyun Creek landslide renewed debate over charging hikers. And in global news, South Korea's government has announced that it has finalized an agreement to build nuclear-powered submarines in partnership with the United States. The U.S. has approved the attack submarines and agreed to cooperate in sourcing fuel. The agreement marks a significant step in South Korea's relations with the U.S. and comes amid a period of growing tensions on the Korean peninsula with nuclear-armed North Korea and expansionist China to the west.
The agreement comes as leaders from both countries reached a broad trade deal earlier last month that would see reciprocal tariffs cut to 15% from 25%. Trump had imposed a tariff rate on Seoul of 25% earlier this year, which his counterpart Lee Jae-myung negotiated down to 15% after Seoul said it would invest $350 billion in the U.S., including $200 billion in cash investment and $150 billion in shipbuilding. Only 6 countries currently possess nuclear-powered strategic submarines: the US, China, Russia, the UK, France, and India. South Korea already possesses about 20 submarines, but they are all diesel-propelled and therefore need to surface far more frequently. Nuclear submarines are also able to operate farther and faster.
Several thousand people took the streets to Mexico City on Saturday to protest crime, corruption, and impunity in a demonstration organized by members of Generation Z, but which ended with strong backing from older supporters of opposition parties. The demonstration was mostly peaceful, but ended with some young people clashing with the police. Protesters attacked police with stones, fireworks, sticks, and chains, grabbing police shells and other equipment.
The capital's security secretary said 120 people were injured, 100 of them police officers, and 20 people were arrested. In several countries this year, members of the demographic group born between the late 1990s and early 2010s have organized protests against inequality, democratic backsliding, and corruption. The largest, Gen Z, protests took place in Nepal in September, following a ban on social media, and led to the resignation of that nation's prime minister. In Mexico, many young people say they are frustrated with systemic problems like corruption and impunity for violent crimes. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum still has high approval ratings despite a recent spate of high-profile murders that includes the assassination of a popular mayor in the western state of Michoacán.
A jury in federal court in Chicago ordered Boeing to pay more than $28 million to the family of a United Nations environmental workers who was killed in the 2019 crash of a 737 MAX jet in Ethiopia. The verdict awarded to the family of Shikagarg is the first among the dozens of lawsuits filed in the wake of the crash and another in Indonesia in 2018, which together killed 346 people. Under a deal between the parties, Garg's family will receive $35.85 million.
In a statement, a Boeing spokeswoman said the company is deeply sorry to all who lost loved ones on the two flights. She said, "While we have resolved the vast majority of these claims through settlements, families are also entitled to pursue their claims through damages trials in court, and we respect their right to do so." Attorneys who represented the family said in a statement that the verdict provides public accountability for Boeing's wrongful conduct. The lawsuit alleged that the 737 MAX plane was defectively designed and that Boeing failed to warn passengers and the public about its dangers. On November 5, Boeing settled 3 lawsuits brought by the families of other victims who died in the Ethiopian Airlines crash.
Skims, the shapewear brand co-founded by celebrity and entrepreneur Kim Kardashian, says it is now valued at $5 billion after raising $225 million in new funding. The company says it plans to use the money from investors, including an arm of Wall Street banking giant Goldman Sachs, to open more shops and expand around the world. The funding round is one of the biggest this year for a U.S. consumer brand and comes as Skims faces fierce competition from rivals like Lululemon.
Skims, which runs 18 shops in the U.S. and sells its products through retailers worldwide, will focus predominantly on its physical retail business over the next few years. The company expects its sales to top $1 billion this year, which the Skims chief executive said gave the firm the confidence to pursue its long-term goals. The brand debuted in 2019 with a line of shapewear and has since broadened its range to include loungewear and other fashion categories. The company's growth has moved it deeper into the mainstream sports and athleisure market, which is largely dominated by brands like Lululemon and Alo Yoga. Skims has also amassed a large pool of influencers, including the Kardashians and other celebrities like Megan Fox and Paris Hilton, to boost its appeal.
The U.S. ended production of the penny on Wednesday, abandoning the 1-cent coins that were embedded in American culture for more than 230 years, but had become nearly worthless. When it was introduced in 1793, a penny could buy a biscuit, a candle, or a piece of candy. Now most of them are cast aside to sit in jars or junk drawers, and each one costs nearly 4 cents to make. Billions of pennies are still in circulation and will remain legal tender, but new ones will no longer be made.
Cost savings of ending penny production will save the American taxpayer approximately $56 million a year in just production cost alone.
At the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia, before hitting a button to strike the final penny, Treasurer Brandon Beach said, "God bless America, and we're going to save the taxpayers $56 million. The coins were then carefully placed on a tray for journalists to see. The last few pennies were to be auctioned off. The last U.S. coin to be discontinued was the half-cent in 1857. Most penny production ended over the summer. During the final pressing, workers at the mint stood quietly on the factory floor as if bidding farewell to an old friend. When the last coins emerged, the men and women broke into applause and cheered one another."
The answer for last Friday was B, magnify. The microscope can magnify tiny organisms hundreds of times. Did you answer correctly? Now let's delve into today's news. The U.S. will help South Korea build nuclear-attacked submarines. Number 1. Immunity. 免于惩罚，逍遥法外. The corrupt official act with impunity, knowing no one could stop him. Number 2. Assassination. 暗杀. The assassination of the political leader shocked the entire nation. Number 3. Demographic. 人口统计的. Companies often study the demographic trends before launching a new product. Next, we have a multiple choice question for everyone to practice. Which answer would you choose? You can write your answer in the comment section. The correct answer will be announced tomorrow. International Students' Day is a celebration of multiculturalism, diversity, and cooperation among students across the globe. Though originally a day of commemoration for the more than 1,200 students from the University of Prague whose lives were taken in World War II, this day has become an occasion for universities around the world to highlight the large numbers of international students and the good they do for the local community. And that's all for today's FUNDAY News. Be sure to tune into FUNDAY News from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join FUNDAY for free. I'm Helen, your host. I'll see you next time.